Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today's video is going to be about, you guessed it, we're still fucking talking about it. It's the Katie and the George drama, but this time it's a bit of a twist because somebody talked about it that shouldn't have talked about it, and that's Shubble. Shubble opened her mouth, and I don't know why she's talking about it. Shubble, go back to playing fucking Minecraft. Why are we talking about this? She opened her mouth about the situation. Of course, she doesn't name drop or anything because for some reason these people have a consistency with just like not saying the names of people involved. I don't understand it. It's like they want to get out of talking about drama while also talking about drama. It's strange, it's weird, it's dumb. But if you don't know what went down, Katie just recently released a third response that is god awful. It's terrible. It's a really bad response. It's oh my god, it's terrible. I have a stream up on my channel on the live section. I watched the whole thing and it's long. Don't get me wrong. It's a really long stream. I'm gonna try to break it down and post a video of just, you know, stream highlights of me talking about it. A lot of people have talked about it so far and it's really bad. A good point to point out from that said video is that she really likes to overstate the whole being 18, and then on top of that she really likes to overstate the fact that she was touched on her titty, which she never made clear in the first video and her second response, right? In her first and second responses she never brought up that she was touched on her boob, and I just want to make this very clear. Even if George did touch her on the boob, why does that matter? You're both drunk at a party and he's touching you and you're reciprocating it positively. If he goes up to your boob, it is your job to make it clear that you don't want him there. If you're reciprocating it positively, then what are we supposed to do? On top of that, you have to factor in the fact that if other people in the room and he's touching you on your boob, you would think somebody would notice that. You'd think somebody would probably be like, that's weird, I should stop this. But nobody did. Nobody called it out. Nobody said it happened. And it seems pretty obvious that this could very much be just a straight lie. And it seems very obvious at this point that Katie has lost the audience. She's lost the people. Most people on Twitter are starting to realize that she's probably lying about most of this and over-exaggerating most of this. And it's starting to sway public opinion. This response is 100% just completely swayed the public opinion because on Twitter, you're starting to see more people like comments that are supporting George and Dream than you are seeing people who hate George and Dream and sending hate towards their way and still supporting Katie, which is good. I think that's a good thing because it ultimately shows that we're starting to learn, we're starting to realize, we're starting to figure things out, that she's clearly over-exaggerating a lot of the things that happened that night. Like, a good thing I want to point out is that, yes, did George make like a mistake? Of course. Did Katie make a mistake that night? Of course. Both parties definitely made mistakes, but this isn't some sexual assault, right? This isn't a sexual assault situation. You know, it's just a simple, like, this was a bad night where something regrettable happened. But at the end of the day, it's not sexual assault, and I just want to reiterate that. But this isn't about that. This is about Shubble's response to it, basically, because she, of course, she had to respond to this third piece of information. I don't know why. I really don't know why she's doing it, but it's not good. It looks really bad on her end. Now, I want to make this clear. I watched Sleepy talk about it, and it just kind of inspired me to talk about it because I saw Turkey Tom on his stream find out that she talked about it, then Sleepy talked about it, and I was like, okay, I kind of want to have a say in this. I want to talk about it. I want to put my 2 cents in. I want to put my 2 cents in about this situation because it's god awful. It's stupid. So I want to talk about it.
I think I thought about this a lot and what I would want to say about what has happened for the last couple of weeks, the things that I was told, horrible things, that no one should ever be told. No human being should ever have to be receiving these words. I'm talking about anybody saying words like, telling you that you should take your own life, telling you that you deserved the abuse that you experienced, you deserved worse, you deserve to be assaulted. These are all the things that I have heard, and I have seen people saying to each other, and everyone saying these things. Just so disgraceful. Everyone.
Now, a beginning of the entire response or whatever is talking about getting hate comments and whatnot, and I just want to reiterate this because I think I've said this in the past before, is that so is George, so is Dream, so is Wilbur, so is you, so is Katie. Everybody's receiving hate comments of just KYS, you know, tie rope, round neck. You know, you're gonna get hate comments like this, especially when allegations are being flung around, and of course, sorry, Shubble, but you have no proof to show for it, and so does Katie, no proof to show for it. Now, I will say this, that Shubble's situation seems more believable than Katie's. I think Wilbur is in a bit more of a bigger pit than George, obviously. So I'm not gonna talk about her allegations. I don't care about Shubble's allegations. I think those stand pretty tall. At least for now, they stand pretty tall. But I just don't understand this argument of like, guys, we're receiving death threats, we're receiving like doxes, we're receiving like hate comments and hate. And it's like, yeah, so is everyone else. The accused is getting it too. Wilbur's probably getting countless amounts of hate comments in his inbox, right? On his fucking Twitter. He's getting hate comments on his YouTube probably. He's getting so much right now. And it's like, why does, what does it change, right? I understand that the guy is an abuser, and don't get me wrong, that's bad, but it doesn't excuse bad behavior like that. And I agree with her. You shouldn't be doing this. If you're somebody that sends KYSs and whatnot, you're cringe. I think you're fucking weird. I think you're cringe. If you're somebody that doesn't give like actual constructive criticism and you just send hate to somebody, yeah, I think you're extremely cringe. Good example is Amesy going around calling George a SAer and a rapist with really no proof to back it, and just kind of spreading a hate campaign against him, which is ultimately what I mean is people like that, you're a fucking idiot. You're a loser. Like, I don't like people like you. People like you are an idiot. I think it's good to give constructive criticism and whatnot, but hate is just not okay. Now, that brings me to this next part. You're on the internet, okay? I just want to make it clear, Shubble. You're on the fucking internet. I understand that it sucks, and don't get me wrong, I get it. It's annoying. It's not fun to deal with hate comments, and it's genuinely just a hassle, and it sucks for your mental health and whatnot. But this is the internet. This is not a safe space. I've said this in the past. The internet is not a safe space. This is not a safe space for people to feel welcome and to feel happy. The internet is scary. The internet has a lot of bad actors, bad people. The outside world is more of a safe space than this, and I find it so weird that people consider the outside world not a safe space, when in reality, it's like when you step off the computer, when you step off your phone, when you get away from the internet, you have your own thoughts to yourself. You're sitting with yourself. You're by yourself. You're able to protect yourself from literal bullies and whatnot, right? Bad people. So I find it really strange that people keep trying to make the internet a safe space. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against positivity. I'm glad that there are family-friendly YouTubers who are positive people. Shubble, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that you like to spread positivity. I don't think you have to be a negative person, and you don't. YouTubers don't have to be negative people, and they don't have to spread negative messages or anything, right? I think negativity is bad, and I understand that I'm a commentary YouTuber. I talk about negative things all the time, but it's always good to be positive on the internet. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that the internet's just only hate and negativity. There is positive sides to the internet, and it's good that there is, but I think it's idiotic to ignore the fact that there is negativity. The best thing you can do in these situations is just block people. Block the hate if people are being douchebags, right? Block bad people, okay? But I don't want to keep rambling on about this subject. The main subject I want to talk about is going to be later part.
Nobody wants to tell the truth around here, it seems like. And that's all I've wanted to do. Ooh, I have another rant I'm going to get into. Oh, boy. And I love my mods. That wasn't about them. That's just... Some of them are young people. They are young adults. And I think that I have seen so many people be so irresponsible with the young adults around them who trust them. And these adults, grown fucking people, thinking that when someone becomes 18, it's suddenly okay and it's different. And you can do anything. No more boundaries. You can make any jokes you want. You can hurt them any way you want. You can treat them any way you want. Because they're 18 and they're responsible for their own decisions. Give me a break. An 18-year-old has never been responsible. We all know that. They were 17 yesterday. It isn't different now. And if your line for your morals is that they have turned 18, you have no morals. I didn't feel fully responsible till I was past 21. 21 is when I even really fully, I remember the moment it hitting me in my head that I understood that a lot more people lie than I had realized till 21. I remember when I finally, I was finally with other adults, and I thought that was just like a thing that kids did. I thought that was like just a thing that kids, because they're kids, because they're stupid. And then the realization that other adults all the time are doing that. They're just lying. I hate people that lie. Responsibility to take care of them because they're still so young. They're kids. They're teenagers. And I think that if you think it's acceptable as soon as someone turns 18, suddenly it's okay to make all types of sexual jokes and to be physically violent with them or to... I just think it's despicable. Don't mess with teenagers. What are you doing? We have things in common. I play Minecraft, and you all play Minecraft. And I think that it's kind of a lie to make it seem like there's nothing that you'd have in common, when of course we do. And what it might do now is give an opportunity to someone older to say, hey, we have this age gap between us. You're 18, I'm 26, 27, whatever, plus. And we're not supposed to have anything in common, but we do. And so it's special and it's unique and it's different. Of course we have things in common. Of course we do. And that's so important when we do have friendships. And it's so important, I think, also to have those friendships so that these younger adults have people that they can go to that are outside of their parents. It isn't the same, that they can trust and can go to and know that they're going to someone who will be responsible with them and they will not be careless with them. But people take advantage of that. I don't think it's ever okay. I don't think it's ever okay to mess with teenagers. That's what I think is so much worse. I feel this upsets me so much because they're so young. They're so young. And you're so fucking old. What are you doing? This isn't necessarily about anyone specific. I just think if the shoe fits, in the wise words of Renee Rapp, lace that bitch up and run. It upsets me. You've seen this happen before too, where you have been caught with your massive platform of influence over lots of teenagers and children. And in private, you are being manipulative and abusing people, manipulating and abusing teenagers. I just think that if you are one of those people who was caught and you said, I'm sorry, I'm going to go work on myself, I think that it's a lie if you ever come back. I think that if you have been caught clearly irresponsible with this position of power over teenagers, that if you were actually out there and did the work and were sorry, you'd voluntarily never come back. If you really were sorry. I just couldn't ever believe it if you put yourself right back into the same shoes that allowed you to do that the first time. And I also just think I don't think we should allow a second opportunity when we're dealing with teenagers and children. I just don't think that you should be allowed a second opportunity. Something that I would wish to see from my peers, other content creators, is that I know that there are people that know these things happen. I know that there are people that knew these things happened and they let it happen and they didn't say anything, or they excused it for their friend. I think that we all need to decide at some point that we find it unacceptable. You hear about someone or you see someone do something like this, unacceptable. We do not protect those people anymore. We do not. We don't let them back. We don't give them another opportunity to take it. Teenagers! Messing around with teenagers, just because they're 18, you think they're the same as a consenting adult who's 30, nearly 30, or plus, because let's not even start with all the people 30 plus that think 18 is still an acceptable person to have any kind of an intimate anything with. There are boundaries you need to have with those people. They are kids. I just think that's so predatory. And if you think that the excuse that they're adults is good enough, we fundamentally disagree.
This is the part of the response that just absolutely baffles me and blows my mind. We all know what she's talking about. She's talking about the Katie situation. She's very much making it out like George knew her age and is preying on little kids. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, okay? I'm gonna keep it real with you. Shubble, I don't know if you're just like, you were just out of it in that situation or something, but you're clearly making it out like this YouTuber and streamer is preying after little kids when that's not what he's doing. Again, I don't know how many times I have to reiterate this story. I've had to say it like so many fucking times on different videos. The story is simple. George and Dream are hanging out at Dream's hotel room. Girls want to go there to drink some more and party. They show up. George sees one of them with a 21 plus wristband, plus they're all drunk, so he's under the assumption they're 21 plus. That's it. And then the night ensues, okay? That's what it is. Now, again, even though she's 18, it doesn't matter. I've said this before that I think an 8-year gap is weird. I think it's strange. I think it's weird, but she's not some freshly turned 18-year-old. She's not some teenage little girl. She's a grown fucking adult. And I think it's really idiotic that streamers like Shubble are trying to press the matter like he's some creep who's preying on these little kids, when that's not what it is. She's not a little kid. She's a grown adult. She's a woman that can make her own decisions for herself. There's also a thing that I want to make very clear. She makes it out like 18-year-olds don't know what they're doing. They're stupid. They make mistakes. They do stupid things. So does every age in existence. 18-year-olds do, 20-year-olds do, 22-year-olds do, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. We all make mistakes at any age, anytime possible. It doesn't matter what age you are, you can make a mistake and do something stupid, okay? It doesn't matter what age you are. She's making it out like George, this 26-year-old, knows all. He's this wise man who knows all, and he knows exactly what he's going after. He's going after these little 18-year-old girls. You know what I mean? Like, what? That's not at all what's happening in this situation. And I love how at the beginning of this, she talks about how no one likes to tell the truth here. You're not telling the truth. You're making it out like he's some creepy pedo. You're making it out like he's some creepy pedo who's going after a little girl. That's not what he's doing. Like, what are you on about? And to add on to the fact that she's talking about how Katie, 18-year-olds, right? 18-year-olds, they're stupid. They don't know how to make decisions for themselves. When I figured out things, I was 21 years old. I don't want to boast about myself and whatnot, but when I was 18, I didn't go out and drink. I didn't go out and party. I didn't go out and do stupid things because I didn't want to get myself in trouble. That's just called being responsible. You can could be responsible at 16, you could be responsible at 15, you could be responsible at 17, you could be responsible at nearly any teenage age if you really think about it. Like, brother, it's called responsibility. She's a grown adult. She is legally an 18-year-old, and by societal means, she's what we consider an adult. And that's what everyone practically considers an adult. When you're 18, you should have the right mindset to make good decisions with your life. And if you choose not to, well, newsflash, you're stupid and you're making bad decisions and you need to own up to your accountability. I'm sick of these creators and people getting mad at George for something that, one, they were both drunk, so you're expecting him to control the situation like a quote-unquote grown adult, when in reality, you should be getting mad at Katie's friends for getting her drunk and bringing her here afterwards, right? I think it's weird. Like, don't get me wrong, you should hold George accountable for not being responsible that night, right? Of course, he should be responsible, drinking responsibly, taking care of himself responsibly, and being responsible around others. Don't get me wrong, there's definitely things that you can criticize George for, but this entire situation has been blown out of proportion to make him look like a sexual assaulter when it really isn't. And I just don't understand why, Shubble, of all people, after your entire allegation situation, why are you talking about it like this? Why are you going from calling her an 18-year-old young adult, then switching it to teenager, then switching it to kids? You're making it out like George is this creepy guy who is buttering up these young kids when that's not the case. This is VidCon, right? You're meeting a bunch of other creators. That's what's happening. He's just hanging out, meeting creators, and it just so happens that he met Katie and the situation ensued. This isn't some pedophilic allegation, you know, he's like a creepy pedo creeping on little girls. Like I said, the age gap is strange. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of 8 years, but if you stepped outside and went outside, the amount of 8-year gaps, if not more, that you would see, you'd start to realize that it's really not that big of a fucking deal. And again, she's not a freshly 18-year-old. She's been 18 for 5 to 6 months. She has been 18 for a very good chunk of time. So she's had plenty of time to learn what it's like to be an adult, to be this old. I graduated at 17. I had to be an adult at 17, work at jobs at 17, and do adult things at 17. A lot of kids do, a lot of people do. She's an 18-year-old. She should have her shit together. She should at least have understanding of how to be responsible in this situation. She should be held accountable for getting drunk, knowing full well that it's illegal to do so. But she's not being held accountable because for some reason, it doesn't matter. She's an 18-year-old. She's just a stupid little 18-year-old. Like, you shouldn't be holding people like that accountable. What? Huh? It's just such an idiotic take. And I just wanted to put my 2 cents in on this. I think her argument is really stupid. I think the fact that she is making it out like he is a creepy predator is really strange and gross and weird. I don't like it. I think it's wrong. I don't know why she's making it out like this. It's weird. Again, Shubble, for somebody who's claiming that no one's telling any truths, you seem to be exaggerating an entire story, right? You're glossing over an entire fucking story to tell us something that isn't happening. I think that's really fucked up. And Shubble, I don't want to be rude, but just stick to making Minecraft content. If you really care about positivity on the internet, stop talking about these dramas. There's literally people in these comment sections saying, I just want to watch Minecraft. Like, brother, just go back to doing your thing. Please stop talking about these extreme things with your young audience, okay? It's weird, okay? It's extremely strange. Please, just go back to doing Minecraft content, please. It's fucking weird. But anyways, guys, I don't want to keep rambling on about it. Like I said, I'll get up a video from my stream, basically just highlighting the entire Katie stream, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.